Hello and welcome. My name is Rowan Stuart, and in today's video I'm going to dive in pretty deep into the question of why I keep on writing and why I strongly believe that you should keep writing too. Although I'm a songwriter and music is my main frame of reference, the concepts in this video should be relevant to not just songwriters but authors and budding authors and anyone involved in creative writing. So early in my songwriting journey, I started to notice certain patterns and parallels and things, and it didn't take long for me to realize that to write a truly original chord sequence or melody is quite rare and a very difficult thing to do, especially considering how many songs have already been written. So I was left wondering what it is that I could bring to the conversation that hadn't already been added. In literature, I noticed that we've had brilliant stories that have been told or written for hundreds, if not thousands, of years, and they're quite similar to the stories of today. Take, for example, our modern interest in superhero movies. That's quite similar to the ancient Greek mythology. People battling the gods and people with supernatural abilities like super strength, think of Hercules, etc. On a more down-to-earth level, whenever I've noticed political or social commentary from people from hundreds or thousands of years ago, it almost sounds as if they're talking about modern events. Why is it that not much has changed in so many years? And why are these stories so similar to the stories of today? I think it's because inside of us we have a cast of characters. We have our main personality, but it may be that there are sub-personalities inside us. Human qualities like love and hate, hope, fear, our need to belong, anger, and our curiosity and questions about the universe. They're all like mini characters that live inside us. And from one person to the next, some of the voices are a bit louder than others, which is what makes us have different personalities. But I believe that these characters are and have always been with us. So stories come along and they're a way of taking this internal set of characters and giving them external names and faces so that we can learn to understand ourselves better. A story takes something the size of the universe, which is way, way too big to comprehend, and scales it down into the size of a poem or a song or a novel or a movie. And the best ones teach us something and leave us with a sense of conclusion or resolution, which is so hard to find in real life. Now, if so many great stories have already been told, why should we even bother putting pen to paper, especially when we compare ourselves with the great writers of the past? What if we'll never have the linguistic magic of William Shakespeare, or the epic and detailed world building of Tolkien, or that brilliant combination of fantasy and relatability of the Harry Potter books by J.K. Rowling, or in music, the complexity of Bach, or the innovation of the Beatles, the lyrical depth of the 60s folk songwriters like Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell, etc. Has it all been done before? Yes, maybe. And maybe no. I think it comes down to two things: time and individuality. So on the note of time, this next concept is going to sound a bit controversial, but just bear with me because I believe it to be true. I would say that for every piece of art that's ever been created, no matter how timeless it is, it's never as relevant as at the time when it was made, because it comes from that time. It wouldn't exist without that particular time, and it's inspired by the spirit of its particular age, or the zeitgeist, as you will. I'll give you an example. In high school, as a teenager, I had to study some of the works of Shakespeare, as many people do, and although they're brilliant, I wasn't shaken, excuse the pun, to the core by the depth and wisdom of the literature. In fact, I was frustrated by the wordiness and the archaic language, which for me got in the way of the inherent meaning of the works. But at the same time, I was listening to music written by people just a bit older than me, and it could reach me on a really profound level because it was written in the language of the time, which was my language, and because it was influenced and inspired by the thoughts and attitudes of my generation. The Harry Potter books, I really enjoy them, and I think a few other people do as well. But imagine if they were written in the medieval times. These stories where witches and wizards are the heroes of the tale. I think the author would have been locked up or worse for heresy. The timing just really wouldn't have been right. Every generation has its own turn when it must unravel the absurdity and beauty and mystery of human existence. Young people aren't very good at listening to the wisdom of older people. I think it's part of our human development that we have to draw our own conclusions and experience things for ourselves so that we can actually embody the wisdom that we gain. It's one thing being told, and it's another thing actually living the wisdom. So every generation needs artists and storytellers to help with this process, because the role of the artist or storyteller is to take complex concepts or emotions and distill them and emphasize them and explore them for other people's benefit, and every now and then to unlock something in somebody else that they didn't even know existed. I don't think it's so much about trying to break entirely new ground, although that's great, or to find completely new concepts. Remember that it's the same cast of characters that have been with us since the beginning. I think it's more about trying to find new or innovative or contemporary ways to explain these concepts to the people of today. We need new stories because the old stories, as brilliant as they are and as universal as they are, may not be quite as relevant as a story that's told from somebody's point of view who's alive today and living the same experiences collectively as the people reading or experiencing the art. On a musical note, and that's another pun, I began to realize that the pursuit of originality and chord structures and melodies was kind of missing the point. I started to see these 12 notes that make up the musical scale as more like letters in an alphabet. They're there to help capture emotions and ideas. They're not the entire structure, they're more like the foundation. There's no human being that's ever walked the face of the earth that has lived your particular set of experiences and observations. The way that you see the world is through your own unique biological and experiential lens. So go out and write. Write your own story in a way that nobody else can. Don't strive too hard for originality because it will come by default if you're writing authentically to you. And I understand that trying to find and trust your authentic and true artistic voice is not easy. It can be a long process. It takes time and practice. But that journey is a really, really wonderful journey, and it's a really worthwhile pursuit. And that is why I keep on writing and why I believe that you should keep writing as well. I'd love to know what it is that inspires you to keep on writing in this era of ChatGPT and the threat of AI. So let me know in the comments. Also, please like this video and subscribe to my little channel. These vlog style videos are new to me, but I plan to do many more of them as well as releasing music on this channel. And if you would like some help with unlocking your artistic voice or any musical pursuit like songwriting, guitaring, singing, music production, or music direction in general, I also offer one-on-one virtual sessions. So just check out the description of this video for the contact details. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. I look forward to sharing more with you. Let's keep writing and stay creative.